how to inject a chicken. This is a chicken that we're going to be smoking today, and the first step that I did was I stuffed it. So I stuffed the cavity of this chicken full of apples, lemons, onions, garlic, salt, pepper, olive. That's kind of my standard stuffing. I used apple juice, Sprite, a little bit of hot sauce, a little Worcestershire. Get it into that meat and feel. You don't want to pierce the skin, but you also don't want to get into the cavity. You really want to inject it right into the meat. Remember, just like that.
Costco is cheap. Really cheap. This chicken costs $5. These birds are an iconic Costco product. Costco sells about 60 million of them every year. Sounds like a great moneymaker, right? Wrong. Costco sells these chickens at a loss, sometimes up to $30 to $40 million per year.
But I think our grandparents or great-grandparents would have testified that they had chickens out the back door or on the small family farm all the time. But those chickens were there mostly to produce eggs and were mostly eaten after they were done with their egg production. So they were older and they were scrawnier and they were something that you ate only once in a while. But then chicken got transformed. The chickens that we eat today look nothing like and taste nothing like those chickens of our grandparents' time, and they were transformed by intensive breeding and by precision nutrition and by our desire to eat protein a lot more often, and I think more than anything because of routine use of antibiotics. There's a really interesting history in chicken in which time and time again various kinds of innovation sort of cluster around poultry production, and the supply of chicken actually gets out in front of the demand for chicken. And so periodically there are these transformations in which the poultry industry has to convince people to eat more chicken. And they did it in a number of ways, but the main way they did it, aside from antibiotic use, was by transforming the way chickens look, so that those chickens of our grandparents' time would have been sort of upright, and they would have exercised, they would have run around the barnyard and flapped up into trees, and they would have been kind of slender, and they would have had colored feathers. And now the chickens we eat today are rotund and placid and white-feathered, and they have very big breasts, and they're very sort of tippy when they stand up, and they're just nothing like chickens as chickens evolved to be.
And what was the primary source of protein in American diets when chicken it sort of came onto the scene as a primary source of protein?
So people really used to eat much more beef. And you can pinpoint when chicken starts to become, as it is now, the meat that we eat more than any other, with a lot of precision. It dates back to 1977, to the first government guidelines on what Americans should eat, what we now call the Dietary Guidelines for Americans.
How is it possible for today's birds to be grown and brought to market so much quicker than ever before? Unfortunately, this question has led to no small amount of speculation. Most popular among the myths is the suggestion that growers use hormones in poultry production. The misinformation about hormones has been so widespread that many consumers assume the worst. Instead of simply asking whether hormones are used in poultry products, the more common question is, why are hormones used? So let's back up and get straight to the truth. The simple answer is no. No hormones are used in the production of chickens and turkeys. Period. To help better understand, let's hear from an expert, Dr. Susan Watkins, a University of Arkansas professor with the Center of Excellence for Poultry Science.
Yes, U.S. poultry producers have definitely been the target of a number of unfounded rumors concerning hormone use, particularly in recent years with the rise in consumer interest in how our food is produced. The response should be there is no logical reason or incentive to even justify hormone use. The explanations are based in science, economics, and the law. First, from a biological standpoint, the poultry industry has no use for steroids. Over years of research, scientists have made tremendous advances in genetics and selective breeding, naturally selecting for the traits desired by today's consumers. Nutritious feed formulations provide adequate protein and energy for each stage of the bird's development. In addition, today's poultry barns are built and are equipped to maximize bird comfort and safety, ensuring ideal growing conditions. Another fact of science is that feeding hormones to a chicken or turkey is simply not effective. Digestion merely converts hormones into basic amino acids, which destroys their function. So the only way for a growth hormone to work would be to inject it into the bird every day. And that's where we get into the economic fallacy of using hormones in raising poultry. The logistics and expense of injecting millions of chickens and turkeys on a daily basis simply would not be feasible. And finally, there is the legal aspect. For many years, the use of hormones in poultry feed has been strictly prohibited in the United States by the Federal Food and Drug Administration.
Keeping them calm and preventing possible injury. Next, they are transported to an area of the plant where they are immediately stunned and rendered unconscious. Currently, there are two approaches to stunning: electrical and controlled atmosphere stunning. Electrical stunning is achieved by exposing the birds to a mild electrical current. Controlled atmosphere stunning uses either a mixture of inert gases or concentrations of carbon dioxide to lower oxygen levels. While each stunning method has its advantages, both render the birds unconscious and incapable of feeling pain. Both are considered equally humane, and both are widely accepted by independent animal welfare organizations such as the United Nations World Organization for Animal Health and the American Association of Avian Pathologists. After the birds are rendered insensible to pain, they pass by a sharp blade that severs arteries in the neck. In the next processing step, feathers are removed with hot water and mechanical picking devices. Inside each of these picking machines are hundreds of rubber fingers, efficiently removing the feathers. The bird is now ready for the removal of internal organs. This step is highly automated and a long way from the old days of workers standing shoulder to shoulder using only knives and scissors. Innovative technology continues to be introduced. Strategies may include the use of food-grade antimicrobial rinses, which are recognized by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration as a safe and effective way to inhibit the growth of foodborne pathogens on raw product. Food safety oversight is also conducted at poultry processing facilities by the Food Safety and Inspection Service, a public health agency of the USDA. Federal inspectors are on duty at all times during plant operation to inspect every bird.
A couple of large companies, Tyson and Purdue, found ways to increase the number of chickens they would raise through the industrial model, where large numbers of similar breeds are raised in confinement in houses. And the discovery that antibiotics administered in small doses daily not only keep the chickens healthy, but would bring them to market weight faster.
Why are antibiotics given to poultry?
Maintaining the health of a population of chickens like this is no simple task. This is a complex living organism that really is treated as a single unit, this approach in population medicine.
Recalling about 12 million pounds of chicken strips because they might contain metal. That's definitely something you don't want in your chicken. These frozen, ready-to-eat chicken strips, they were shipped nationwide. The company is expanding a recall that was originally issued in March.
Chicken from Simmons Prepared Foods are being recalled over possible metal contamination. The recall includes fresh and frozen chicken products, including whole chickens, wings, and breast meat. They were shipped to institutions in 8 states. There have been recall. Anyone who has the contaminated meat is being urged to throw it out immediately.
That's why you should just go to Popeyes and get that chicken sandwich, which is back in this building now, back in the store.
I know.
Or actually, all good.
Yes, I've had people who've never had it before. They had it this week. They said it's amazing.
It is.
Amazing.
By now, I'm sure you've heard of it.
This is the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Okay.
Popeyes fried chicken sandwich.
Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Wow.
Popeyes chicken sandwich. It hit Popeyes' menu on August 12th, and within 2 weeks, the sandwich was completely sold out.
Swear to God, it's chicken in the tea. I'm not even lying.
After Shakita Jones went live on Facebook to document the rather unsettling and unsanitary conditions inside this Popeyes, we've learned the franchise owner has fired the manager who was on duty and another employee. Jones says she had only been working here for about 3 weeks when she had had enough and took the video before she quit.
How old is this grease? How old is this grease? When I filled out the application, it didn't say we had roaches, you gotta kill them, you have to step on them. It didn't say that you would be in a dirty environment. It didn't say your manager was gonna be calling you out your name, acting like he was him. It didn't say none of that type of stuff. It didn't say he had dead flies in the ice.
According to Stawinski, he's the one who stabbed to death another customer in Popeyes, a customer who'd been methodically cutting a long line to get one of these Popeyes sandwiches.
This chicken sandwich releases endorphins in my body.
It is the perfect amount of spice. We missed the chicken sandwich. I can't wait to taste the deliciousness of the chicken sandwich again.
So we already know people absolutely go crazy over that flavor. So we worked with a group to come up with this fresh pickle. It's barrel cured. It's just a very simple brine, but it makes all the difference in the world that it's a fresh product and not a shelf stable. It's only four ingredients, but they are literally the best 4 ingredients we could get our hands on.
They splashed the mayonnaise in there.
Where the pickles?
Let me see if they got pickle. They ain't got no goddamn pickle in there.
They did a dirty. That's probably the regular one. Let me see the spicy.
Oh, this is spicy.
That's the spicy, all right. They was rushing. No pickles.
No pickle.
Because I don't feel right. My stomach don't feel right.
Something not right. Something not right.